Since September of 2017, we have been doubling and tripling every year. And like you said, it was easy to double when you were two people. At the point that we are right now, we're a fully established company. We're in good pace to double again next year and keep enjoying it.
We didn't take any money from anybody. It was us from the beginning. Had a little bit of extra money flowing in, and we were like, we don't want to party with this money, right? I mean, we do want to party with this money, but really and truly, what we want to do is grow it to a bigger level, right?
I just want to say, man, you guys are dominating. And so, as we say at the Takeover, domination is not a destination, it's a way of life. Welcome back to the Takeover. Today we have just two amazing hyper growth entrepreneurs that I personally met at the Inc. 5000 event. 700% growth over the last 3 years, and they have just such actionable how to grow your business tactics and strategies that I'm really excited to dive into today. And so just welcome to the show, Emilio and Doug.
Thank you, Tim. Great to be here,
Thanks for
man.
having us, Tim.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, I was telling Emilio, man, I need to get a Pima t-shirt because it's a way to look professional and rock a t-shirt at the same time, man. So you're definitely inspiring me already, brother. Well, let's go ahead and jump in because I know you guys have some really I see you guys hustling. I see you guys working. I see you're at events. Every time I meet you, you just got back from another event. So you got a lot going on. Let's give some context to what is it that you guys do and what kind of business do you have?
Yeah, in a nutshell, what we do is we find amazing software engineers in Mexico and Latin America. We hire them, we pay them really well, and we place them with our clients in the US and Canada. So same time zone, nearshore staff augmentation, basically.
And you guys are kind of, I definitely know nearshoring is getting more popular, but it's gonna keep growing in demand. So how were you guys thinking about this when you first started it? Because it's only more recently that this is becoming more popular. So you guys are were on the tip of the spear before this started becoming kind of as trendy as it is now. I don't even think it's super popular yet, but I see it. I see it's going to be very popular and keep growing over these next few years.
Surely, as soon as we started the company, we decided that working with Nearshore was the way to go because we've had not great experience working with offshore team, especially because of the time zone and the cultural fit. So since the beginning, we decided that we were gonna do Mexico and Latin America. We had also had some good experience with working with some Mexican developers, and we loved it. Right, same time zone, culturally, that we actually identify with them really well. So we decided just to go full blown nearshore.
And because when you're just for everybody listening, nearshore means that it's on our continent. Because you're talking about it, and we've hired probably 800 people in the Philippines, doing our appointment setting stuff. And I get that time zone difference, the cultural difference. Philippines is great, like it's close, but it's not the same. We've been hiring in Colombia and some Latin America, and that time zone it being the same, that really makes a big difference when you have somebody on that same time zone. The communication is a lot better. And so I know we've experienced that same thing. So just anybody listening, there is a really big advantage to using nearshoring versus using India and Philippines, which those you can get great talent out there. But there really is a huge advantage. And let's kind of move over to how you guys, when you first launched this product, because you both are software engineers, right? I mean, you're CTOs. You did the work. You launched your business. Tell me about how you launched your business and where you first got started.
Yeah, and you're spot on. You can see, I always point out behind Emilio's head that poster that says, keep calm, I'm a DBA, database administrator, database architect. So yeah, we're highly technical, Tim. The first thought actually came because Emilio and I wanted to build a SaaS product. So we wanted to actually create a product to offer to the masses, right? And we didn't want to reinvent the wheel, right? So we reached out to some local companies that did already nearshoring, and they were really bad, man. They were resume flippers, right? They found they found the keywords in the resumes and they would send them to us, right? And Emilio and I, within a month, probably went through more than 200 resumes. And it was like, okay, let's interview this guy, right? And it was just bad, really, really bad, right? So I think our eureka moment was when Emilio and we flew down to Mexico and we were like, hey, I'm half Mexican, half American. Let's find some developers ourselves, right? And we had a great experience, man. Great experience. We like to say there's smart talent all over the world, right? But being so close to the US, it's just really easy. Right now, it's 4 o'clock. I can pick up the phone, call them, and they can fix our issues right now, right?
Mm.
So yeah, we
You guys,
hired.
you guys flew over there,
Yeah, we did. We have pictures, man. We had a great time actually.
huh? That's you guys speak Spanish?
Both of us speak Spanish,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Oh, now, but I've heard it's not just the time zones, and we're experiencing this a little bit. The culture is a lot more aligned. So the way like business, and in our experience, we have some talent that's on our team that's from Colombia, and the culture and the way that they think about business is much more aligned with the way that we the culture and the way we do business here in the US. Is that true in your experience?
100%. Yeah, I think like if you look at Mexico, for example, a lot of our developers are from the northern side of Mexico, and in that area, uh, developers speak English almost natively. They listen to the music, the same music that we listen here in the US. They know how we live here. Culturally, there's that 100% alignment that we love, right? We don't have to go above and beyond and explaining everything to them, so they really get it.
Mm. And so you fly over there. Let's kind of jump into the story, but you fly over there, you start getting talent, you're building your own software, and what happened from there? How did this eventually turn into, hey, we should do this for other people?
We got frustrated, Tim, not only because of out of the 200 resumes, we couldn't find one. Our biggest frustration was because out of the 200, maybe 100 were not even aligned with the technologies that we were looking for. Like
Mm,
they were just sloppy. So Doug and I had decided to create this SaaS product together, and as soon as we saw the opportunity to create a staffing firm, like a boutique type of staffing firm in the US, as entrepreneurs, we immediately identified the opportunity of creating
yeah.
that company. So we dropped that product idea and we started with developers.net.
I love it. And so how how did you start that? And then 700% growth. That's that's pretty impressive. And I know you guys aren't slowing down. I mean, every time I talk to you, you're working on this new event. You're talking about new marketing strategy. You're dialing this stuff in. I get on like I. Doug, you jumped on a Zoom call with me the other day. I'm like, what are you up to? Like, oh, I'm just figuring out DMark and how to like how to get more promotion out there. To walk me through that. Our audience loves what did you guys do when you first started to scale and get to that 700% growth? And like, what were those initial techniques that you did to start going out and getting clients?
I think the easiest first is your close network, right? So both Emilio and I had worked for many years here in the U.S. and we worked at a couple of different companies, and we were recognized as pretty good technologists, right? So when we created our company, the first thing that you go out and you do as a founder is what we call founder-based sales, right? So whatever your close network is, you go and you attack that first, right?
Yep.
But we ran out of those contacts like pretty quick, right? But it gave us that kind of like injection of money to actually quit our jobs and then focus 100% on this, right?
Oh, so,
Um,
so you went and did that before you even went full time on this. I mean, you guys were hustling, working full time jobs, building
oh
this on the
yeah,
side, and to build the revenue up to cover.
yep, yep. Both of us had families. We were married. We had kids, man. Um, yeah, my wife likes expensive shoes. We have to keep on going and supplying that, man.
It's good motivation, man. Keep that wife happy.
Yeah, for about a year and a half, Doug, was it? Like for about a year and a half, we were full time in our other jobs.
Yeah.
And then we quit and we started working on this full time. As soon as the company started to generate enough money to support us, to afford us, to be able to afford us, we just went full time, and that's when the growth started to happen.
Yeah.
And does your wife like expensive shoes as well?
Yeah, man. Probably
That's
more expensive than dogs.
oh, you see, it's the finer things in life that really help us stay motivated. So, well,
A friend
what
of
happened? What happened from there, guys? Like, so you launch, you go full time. You know, a lot of I think mistakes that some entrepreneurs make is they're like, well, if we build it, they will come, and
Oh yeah.
no, if you sell it, they will come. Like, you got
Yes.
to go out and sell. So, what did that transition look like when you kind of had already tapped your network and you had to start going and building? Extroverting to get a client base?
Yeah, so I think the number one strategy that we took was Emilio and I would go to a lot of conferences, still in founder-based sales, right? And we would wear. I actually have a T-shirt here, similar to the one that Emilio has on, right? And in the back, we would just promote ourselves, right?
Oh, that's
Uh,
cool.
Walk
If
around with this T-shirt that had like the pricing on it, and people would
can
approach.
you tell everybody that's not watching this on video what that T-shirt said? Because Doug, you just lifted up a T-shirt that had your promotion on the back. What was the back?
Yep.
What was on the back of that T-shirt?
So like those Walmart shirts, like "Ask me, I can help you," right? So kind of like that. It says software developers at $65 an hour. Big green thing on the top that says "Ask me how," and then in the bottom there's a QR code, right? So people can come in, scan you, and it would take you to like a landing page where you can see the promotion specials. What do we have? What are the stacks, the technology stacks that we serve, and so on. Yeah, these shirts walking around. At first, we felt a little bit weird, like billboards walking around, man. But as Emilio and I say, you only live once, man. So we have one opportunity to hit it big and hit it hard, and we will do anything that we can do within reason to grow our business.
Well, within ethical boundaries.
Yes, yes, exactly.
I'm not trying to make money and then go to jail, right? So.
No way, man.
That's awesome though. So and that worked well for you. Those so you're going to events, you're hitting the pavement, but the shirt specifically, it's like that getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, throwing
Oh yeah.
yourself in the room, wearing like a cheesy self-promotion t-shirt, which I love that, guys. I'm gonna order some of those. I'm gonna because that's mine can be as easy as like, hey, you need meetings, whatever that is, because everybody needs them. And if you got the right person, were people coming up to you guys at events and asking you about it?
Yeah. I mean, it works, especially with those green letters, right? Like you're in a conference with 100,000 people walking around, and they see that and they approach you. Like sometimes they just come to say hi because they think it's great that you're doing that, right? Like especially as being the founders, not a lot of founders have the courage to actually put a T-shirt like that and just walk around like a billboard, right? For us, it's worked beautifully. But the first 2 years team, we actually focused on people that we knew, like Douglas said. But it got to a
Yeah.
point where we exhausted that list, and so we did a couple of things: conferences, and then we hire a full-time sales and marketing team. So we have an internal team that executes pretty much in all these strategies: cold calling, email, LinkedIn, LinkedIn automation. We're running like full blown. Like now, the conference that Doug and I do bring probably about 30-40% of the revenue.
Oh wow.
It just works.
So you
Yeah,
guys start off doing the founder sales with your network, then you're starting to do events, you're starting to add more and more strategy, and so it's still founder led sales, but then you guys have built it at a point like you keep stacking new strategy, more team, more execution, and now you're at a place where like 30-40% you said are coming in from you, but then the rest is coming in from the team and the other strategies.
correct. Yeah.
What are some of those? So what are some of those key points that you guys made as founders to really get that flipped where you had 70% of your new business coming in from new strategies from your sales team from stuff like that? What did that look like for you guys?
Man, we read a lot of books and hiring the right people, right? I think one of the books that we live or die by is Traction by Gino Wickman, Get a Grip on Your Business. It's a great book that tells you how to manage your company, how to hire the right person for the right job, for the right seat also. And that book taught us so much, right? And I think we were really lucky at finding the right people to help us on the marketing and sales side, right? And I mean, it is difficult anyway, right? I can tell you right now that one of probably our biggest things right now is still scaling that part, scaling the sales out, right? But we execute strategies like cold calling, cold emailing, cold LinkedIn outreaches. We do advertising, we do blog posts, we do some blog, like video blogs that Emilio and I do together too, podcasts like this. We do a lot of marketing and sales strategies and tactics out there. Yeah.
We spend about probably 35% of our revenue on that. Like you have to invest in sales. Like we realized that the hard way. At the beginning, we were just shying away from spending money on sales, and we're trying to do it ourselves. We had to hire the right people for the right seat, and so like about 35% of the revenue gets reinvested in sales and marketing.
Dude, I love that you said that, because I think there is sometimes when people look at a business model and they miss what a client is like worth, like, and they miss that, hey, you know, how if I can get to a point in my business, Doug and Emilio, where if I can spend $6,000 and get a client, and that client's worth say $150,000, I'm going to spend $6,000 as many times as I can every single day to get
Oh yeah.
$150,000 clients. And so where was your mindset at? Because I think it's just obviously you guys are growing fast. And when I talk to any smart and successful entrepreneur, they understand, you know, if I have X amount of client acquisition costs and it gives me this much margin, then you just get good at balancing your margins. And like, that's how any successful company grows. Where did you get that mindset for success? Understanding, because 30% to some people was like that. Well, that's crazy. How could you do that? Whereas I think a lot of other people's like, well, yeah, duh, if you're trying to grow a fast growing company, you know, I mean, you look at like the companies like the Ubers and the Amazons who actually don't have margin, how they're just so hyper focused on scaling. Where did kind of like that mindset come from, and where did like what is your overall thinking on being aggressive about growth, being willing to reinvest that much of your revenue?
I think again, it starts from like we were bootstrapped from the beginning, right? We don't have investment. We don't have, we didn't take any money from anybody, right? Not even family, cousins, nobody, right? So it was us from the beginning. And I guess as software engineers, you look at the problem from a perspective of, okay, we're here, we can sell so much a year. How do we clone another Emilio? How do we clone another Douglas? How do we make this bigger and faster, right? And the reality, I think it came from there. We had a little bit of extra money coming in, flowing in, and we were like, we don't want to party with this money, right? I mean, we do want to party with this money, but really and truly, what we want to do is like grow it to a bigger level,
Yeah.
right? And so I think it was like great discussions, having an amazing business partner like Emilio too, and like brainstorming, how do we get to the next level, right? Like we're here, we have extra money. How do we get to the next level? How do we get to the next level? And it's been a balancing act between investment on both sides of our business, right? Recruitment and sales, recruitment and
Yeah.
sales. It's always been like that. I think now the recruitment side,
Recruitment, is that like ever a bottleneck for you guys? Is it's like, well, we're growing too fast. The fulfillment's a problem, or not as much?
not anymore. I'll let Emilio talk a little bit about that.
No, I mean we used to deal with that. It also depends on the technologies, right? Like if you ask me for something like a regular industry standard one like .NET or Angular or SQL Server, things like that, we normally can find it really quick. For a long time, we ran with a team of recruiters in Mexico, but then our marketing team, when we hired the marketing team, they came up with amazing strategies where now we put a position out there and we get 100 applicants in a week. So we scaled that up, and it has never been an issue. Like finding developers and talent in Latin America is not a problem
Is
for us.
for you guys, is that just because of your rep? Because I've talked to you guys on the backside, and you treat your team super good. Like you really take care of the people that work with your clients. Is part of that the ease at which you can get, because I mean, you guys aren't just hiring anybody. You guys know that, you know, the industry, you know, technology, and so you guys are hiring really, really talented um, people. Is your reputation, has that allowed you to attract better and better talent and make it more easy for you guys?
I want to say yes. Um, I, I really don't know our reputation on the recruitment side of things. Maybe that's something that we should measure a little bit better. But the reality, Tim, as Emilio mentioned, I mean, we're a boutique shop. We only hire the best, so maybe that word has gotten out in Latin America of how good we are and how stringent we are when we interview our staff, our talent. But man, I tell you, our marketing team has knocked it out of the park on scaling how to find people, how to find this amazing talent in Latin America.
I love that. So where are you guys at now? Like what's your big focus? Because as we both know, hitting the Inc. 5000 list becomes harder and harder to hit that revenue growth, right? To get from one to 10 million is a lot of growth, but to get from 10 million to 100 million, that's the same percentage of growth, but it's a lot more work. And it's that percentage wise to keep up, because Inc. 5000 is all about the percentage of growth, you know, so it does get harder and harder and harder. Where are you guys at right now? And what strategies are you thinking about to like really keep that level of growth up? Or are you finding that it's harder for you guys to keep that percentage of growth up at this point?
We have been since 2017, September of 2017. We have been doubling and tripling every year. I think that the worst year was the year that we double. And like you said, it was easy to double when you were two people, right? Like four people. At the point that we're right now, we're fully established company. Right now, I don't think we can call ourselves startups anymore. We've been in business for 7 years. The goal is to actually double and triple in the next 3 or 4, 5 years, and keep enjoying it, keep having fun, and keep treating the people that we have as family. We have, like you mentioned it before, we have a big family. We call it the Developers and Net family. We have members of the team that have gotten offers for way more money, and they haven't even entertained them because they like to be in the environment that we have created. Nobody sees me and Douglas as owners of anything. They see us as friends, as co-workers, and that's the culture that we created from day one.
That's awesome, man. I mean, there's no amount of money that kind of can replace having a place that you come to work and you like it and you feel treated well and you feel treated good. I mean, there's that's most of what you're going to be doing with your time is work. Like a big part of life is work. And so creating an environment and a culture where you're challenged, you're getting to learn new things, but you feel valued, makes a big difference. So that's awesome. What I'd like to kind of hear from you guys is what's next, man. I mean, you kind of told me you want to keep doubling and tripling growth. How do you see? I mean, there's a lot changing in the industry. I think what you guys offered at the nearshoring, I think that's just going to keep growing very, very rapidly. What are you thinking with, maybe AI technology changes or marketing shifts? How do you guys see this next 2 to 3 years being different than the last 2 to 3 years were for you in your industry specifically?
I think we're not that scared about AI. Honestly, we use it. It's a tool that, as a developer, we've had Copilot. We've had amazing tools in the past that you use to help you code faster, right? And we use AI every day, even on our recruitment side. We're doing some pilots internally of like, hey, given a job description and people who applied to that job, can you go and look at the resumes there and tell me which are the top 10 resumes that I should pay attention to that match the job description, right? We validated that ourselves, humanly looking at it, and it's pretty scary accurate on that side, right? So it makes our job faster, honestly, faster and better. There's so many other applications that you could use AI for, but that one is crazy good and fun, right? Tim, I mean, we think we can still double and triple, honestly. We still haven't hit a ceiling there. We maybe hear ignorance is bliss, right? Because we're not 100% business people. We are software engineers. and we will try to engineer our that problem and solve it whenever we hit that, right? So,
Yeah.
right now we're like, what can stop us? Really, really nothing. The market, yeah, sometimes there's some layoffs by the top companies like FANG, right? Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google, right? But that has actually helped us during periods. So we're thinking we're keeping on the doubling, man. That's still our objective, keeping on doubling.
I love that. It's just so funny because like my dad, he's actually in town here. Him and my mom are visiting us. He's a software developer. My brothers are like developers, and you said as like I know all this world, and I have an engineer's mind, but I really fell in love with sales and marketing, and it really is, man. It really is. It becomes down to there's a certain algorithm, there's a certain path. It's very mathematical equation of building a business. There's going to be new challenges that you have at new points. But I think what you said there, man, is really awesome because there is what you have, the product that you have has so much massive potential revenue wise. I mean, the level of company and the size of company that you have the potential to build is literally just going to be limited to your own mindsets and skill sets as you get to new levels and new layers of executive leadership and getting to those next pieces, man. So I love where that mindset's at. I kind of want to make see, Emilio, how are you thinking about these next few years, man? Like, what are some strategies that are on your mind of like some, and you don't have to share any secret stuff that you guys are working on, but how are you thinking about these next few years?
I was gonna say like we have a couple of aces under the sleeve that we can't share here, but uh I'm gonna spoil it a little bit. So one of them is completely related to AI. We're developing some incredible AI products internally. We realize that we're worth more if we have products. So the company is shifting a little bit more to creating products as well, aside from staffing. And we're software engineers. We enjoy that. So we have the developers. We have an internal project that we call the ERP, and as part of that, we train developers that we think have potential. So we have a lot of initiative on that side that will help us growth with actual software that we built. So software definitely the way to go. And then we have a couple other strategies on the marketing side that the marketing team is working on right now that we're gonna start to see results pretty soon.
That's
Obviously,
awesome.
we're gonna continue to hit the road. That's never gonna stop. Hitting the conferences, networking, meeting new people. That's something that we wanna continue to do in the next few years.
And it's an unfair advantage for you guys because you have so much dang software talent and and the valuations of companies that have that software component is just so the it's so you can get so much more money and valuation out of a company. And I don't know if you guys are ever planning to exit, but I mean I love that. What a amazing unfair advantage you guys have for what you're doing because you literally have the best of the best talent. So if you want to develop any software, man, I'm excited to see what you guys are doing. Are you creating your own language model?
LLM. We fiddle around with local models on our machines and stuff like that. Emilio and I, we just can't get away from coding a little bit, man. But we have a team of people, these crazy Python like data scientists that are, as that movie Swordfish says, right? They live in a world beyond our world, man. These guys, the way they think about problems and stuff like that is pretty crazy. We can't talk about some of the things that we're developing internally
Yeah.
there, but we've done some pretty cool
Uh,
stuff, pretty interesting stuff.
there's like smart people, and then there's like people that you're pretty sure, dude. I'm pretty sure you're an alien that somehow like there's people that think on a whole nother level. So you guys got a couple of those in your circle, huh?
We
Yes,
got quite a
sir.
few. Yeah, we got quite a few of those, and we try to retain those for as long as we can. Like those are the developers that we count on every time we want to do something hard, something really outside of the box.
Well, man, this is awesome. I want to make a switch because I want people to get in contact with you guys. I mean, because anybody listening here, whatever kind of company you have, if you add software to your mix, like at Pima, we've been working on our own software that doesn't, we're not, It's not like a SaaS product. It's our own internal product that has made what we do super efficient. It's allowed us to bring our cost per result down a lot. But hey, guess what? And if we decide to exit in 2 or 3 years and we have most of our stuff is built off the amount of data we have in our software, our exit is going to be exponentially bigger than if we're just selling as a service company. So anybody listening to these guys, if you need software developers, if you need some kind of software platform, or if you know your kind of company can benefit from having its own software, you got to get in touch with these guys. Not only do they have some of the best talent, but just talking to Doug and Emilio on the backside, you guys are just genuine guys, and I'm more than happy to refer any of our audience to you. So what's the best way for anybody to reach out to you, and what kind of people would you want to reach out to you? Like, what kind of companies or clients would you want to work with?
Great question, Tim. When we started, you know how it is when you bootstrap and you start from the beginning, you take any kind of client, right? But we've kind of like reduced that into what is a really, really good fit with us. Any company of any size, really and truly, we work with small companies. We work with really, really big companies. We just want to work with people who have experience developing software, that follow some kind of industry standard development process, right? Like agile software development, and that they have somebody in their team that would be like the tech lead, the project manager or product manager, where our developers can report to on a daily basis, right? We've seen that those 3 characteristics on a client works really, really well with our kind of business, right? And to reach out, personally, you guys can reach out to me, Douglas at, our domain is really easy, developers.net. So Douglas at developers.net.
Or Emilio at developers.net. I also want to mention that a lot of if anyone who's listening doesn't have a company, it's just an entrepreneur with an idea and wants to like actually make it happen. Doug and I had amazing mentors when we were starting, not just with developers and not even with previous companies that we had. And we were very thankful to those mentors. So if there's anyone out there who's thinking about doing it but is afraid, you can also reach out to us. I will be willing to actually mentor some of you guys. It's gonna be rough. It's not gonna be smooth along the way. You're gonna hit some bumps, but you have to keep going. You have to keep pressing that pedal and keep paddling.
And do you guys like you have battery packs and you just plug in at night to recharge, or is it mostly caffeine?
It's
A
like
little bit of both.
Let us work out. We hit the gym really hard every day.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That helps you clear your mind, kind of like puts you in a different mood and everything. Like you start off the day sweating and benching 225 and like getting out there, and you come back and then it's like we're ready to hit the day for sure.
No, I agree, man. Energy management is everybody talks time management, but energy management is critical.
Yeah.
Good sleep, good workout. Well, Doug and Emilio, man, great having you guys on here. Again, I'm excited to see you a year from now and see you guys have doubled or tripled, and just to keep growing, man. And it's just awesome to have just other comrades, man, other friends in this entrepreneurial world. I think that one of the coolest things about going to that Inc. event was, for me, is it can feel, you guys are at events all the time, so you're probably like, yeah, duh, Tim, like you got to get out there more. But for me, like Cindy and I, we're just constantly head down, work, and you can kind of feel a little bit like an alien. I think anybody that is an entrepreneur, you kind of feel different than most of the other people you grew up around. And when you get to be around just other awesome entrepreneurs like you guys, you're kind of like, oh, I might be an alien, but these are other cool aliens too. And like, I get to hang out with them and talk with them. So it's been great having you guys on the show. I'm excited to see where you go. And yeah, man, that's it. Any last words of wisdom or advice for that entrepreneur, whether they're already doing a few million or they're doing 20 million, what do they do to get to that next level? Like, what are the things that you found when you kind of hit, well, we've maxed out this marketing channel, we've maxed out this marketing channel. How do you guys think about constantly engineering the solution to that next problem?
I mean, you have to be aware of like everything that's going on out there, right? Like TikTok and like the new channels that open that are like shorter videos and this and that, right? Keep your ear tuned to what's going on out there and write it, ride the trends, right? Definitely ride the trends that are out there. And then when you think
Have you ever done dancing on TikTok?
no, man, we have to do that. We have to do that.
I don't know that maybe the trend's already passed, but that was the one thing. They're like, an entrepreneur, I just can't do the dancing on TikTok. So,
but I mean, looking at what's out there, right? And keeping that tune of like, yeah, cold email is also terrible and cold calling is terrible, but they still work, right? So it's still be consistent, send them, don't give up. I think the number one thing is never give up and have fun. Like when you're doing whatever you're doing, have fun, man. That very important.
Put in the work. Put in the work. That's number one, right? Don't think that you're gonna get to these levels by just working 2 hours a day. The biggest mistake you can make if you have something going is to like stay away from your company and let somebody else just run the whole thing. You have to be there. It's your baby. You have to nurture it and keep working on it. And don't be afraid to invest on new things, right? Even when you're afraid, just try it out because you don't know. You don't know. A/B test. We spend a lot of money A/B testing, trying new things every year. And every once in a while, one of those things just works. And then that's how we actually, the year that we tripled, it was because of a couple of initiatives that we invested in that we weren't sure they were going to work out.
yeah, it was like it reminds me of like Jeff Bezos when he invested like $2 billion in some pet company and it failed or something, and they're like, well, you know, you have this, you know, big failure, and they gave him shit about that, and he's like, no, that's part of my calculated risk is that there's going to be failures on that, but that $2 billion failure, the other risks I took made me like hundreds of millions of dollars. And so I think people are so scared to take those risks that they end up missing out on those big opportunities. And it sounds like you guys are awesome at capitalizing on that, man. And it's just refreshing to hear that, brother. And as always, domination is not a destination. It is a way of life. Stay winning.
Rock and
I love
roll.
it.